بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. So we left off in greater sins. We were talking about misappropriation of the trust, and we were talking about guarding the secrets and how it's who we should tell secrets to, who we should not tell them to, and all these different things. And we were going over some narrations about them, and they were talking about the last one we went over was Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, "Do not let your friend know your secrets, unless these secrets will not harm you if your enemies hear them. One day your friend might turn into your enemy." And we were talking about how Imam Ali alayhi salam also said something similar in Najib Balaga, to have love for your friend up to a limit, because one day it's possible that he may become your enemy, and have your hatred for your enemy up to a limit, because one day it's possible that they may become your friend. So everything has a balance in life, and we need to keep that balance and not go too extreme on either side. And also, we should be careful who we tell our secrets to. A lot of time we see someone that we are very close with, and then all of a sudden maybe they change and they become totally different person, and they know details about our life or our business or other things, and then they could harm us with those things later. We left off with this narration. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Shamun submitted to Isa alayhi salam, Prophet Jesus, describe to me the signs of the ignorant people. Nabi Isa alayhi salam said, if you tell him a secret, he will commit dishonesty with you by revealing it. And if he tells you a secret, he will blame you about its being revealed. Even if you didn't reveal it, he will blame you for it. Imam Ali alayhi salam says the ignorant are known by 6 characteristics. One is being angry without having any right. The next one, talking idle. And then generosity out of its suitable place. Unable to distinguish the friend from the enemy. And disclosing the secrets and trusting everybody. So we see here that we should not trust everybody with our secrets and think that everyone is a well-wisher of us, because in a lot of times this is not the case. We have to be careful. Not, some people are so overly cautious that they don't trust anyone and they don't let anyone close to them. They don't have any friends, or even they block out their family members and their loved ones. Not like in this way, but we need to be aware of who we're dealing with, know their personality, know their, are they good people or not? Are they pious? Do they believe in Allah? Do they follow the teachings of Quran and Ahlul Bayt? Would they guard our secrets? What type of caliber person are we dealing with? These type of things. Not just trust everyone and blindly think everyone is, okay. I remember at one time, in my younger years, after becoming Muslim, I said, okay, everybody who says they're Muslim is okay. But unfortunately, this is not the case. And with that ideology, you will run into a lot of hurt and a lot of pain and a lot of suffering from people who say they are Muslim, but in reality, they are not following it. I mean, we even see that, for example, people that say they are Muslim have done many things in history. We look at Muawiyah, for example, fighting against Imam Ali in the Battle of Siffin, or Aisha fighting against Imam Ali in the Battle of Jamal. They also said they were Muslims. Or Daesh, for example, terrorist organization. They also read Quran and say they are Muslims. But we cannot trust everyone who says they are Muslim or believe in Allah and believe in the Prophet. We need to hold them to some different type of criteria, which what we were mentioning in those other narrations. So we have to surround ourselves with good people that we can trust and have been proven, have passed the test of being trustworthy. And these type of people are very rare to find, but very important to honor them and cherish them when we do find them. And we have to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we find good friends and keep those good friends. One time a man from Basra asked Imam Ali alayhi salam about, the qualifications of being a good friend. One of the things he mentioned was you should keep his secrets and defects to yourself and only publicize his good conduct. We overlook the flaws and we help them to overcome them, but we don't publicize their flaws. We only publicize the good things that they do. And we would never want someone to humiliate us, or and we don't want to humiliate another person. And we should always wish to cover their faults and help them overcome those faults. So we have to keep those secrets because they chose to confide in us and they trusted in us. And we should only mention the good and remember them in the best way possible. Make excuses, if we see something or something happened, we can, for example, we had a meeting and they didn't show up. We say, oh, well, instead of talking bad about them, we can make excuse and maybe something came up, maybe they got busy, maybe they had something with family. It's okay. And we remember the good for them and don't remember the bad. We would want other people to do this for us as well. So we have to remember, how would we want the person to treat us? A lot of times we jump and we say a lot of bad things about the other person right away with one small thing that they've done. We just start tearing them apart, but we wouldn't want someone to do that to us. So we have to learn to be more forgiving and more kind. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he was asked to describe the traits of a pious person, someone with taqwa. He said he does not divulge that which friends ask to keep secret. So from all these narrations we mentioned, we see that guarding the secrets of our brother in faith is a sign of true friendship and also a sign of brotherhood and a trait of pious people. And we should all strive to be like that, inshallah. So we see that it says the author says it's absolutely haram to betray a secret, which is a trust, whether it is a friend or is an enemy, whether he is righteous or whether it is an evil person. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, people who sit together must be careful, safeguarding trust. It's not permissible for a believer to expose the secret of his believing brother. Abu Dhar related from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he said to him, Ya Abu Dhar, one who sits in a company must be cautious of safeguarding the trust, because if you expose a secret of your believing brother, you would have committed misappropriation of the trust. So keep away from such things. So the secret is a sort of trust that one person gives to the other person because they're asking you to hold that with them. Normally, we think of a trust, we think of someone giving someone money or car or item and say, hold this and protect this and look after this. But with a secret, also a type of trust because they're giving you that secret and say, hold this secret for me. Don't tell anyone about it. Keep it safe with yourself. So if we tell other people, then we misappropriate that trust, and it falls under this same category of misappropriation of trust, which is khayanat. He says, whatever is discussed in a meeting is also a trust with the participants. Anything that is to be kept confidential must not be divulged. It's recorded in the traditions that this narration says, one who sits in the company must be careful of maintaining the trust, but it is not haram to expose the secret of three types. So generally we have to keep the secret, but in three types we have exception. One, when unlawful murder is planned. So if someone is telling you a secret and they're planning to kill someone else, then we have to, let the proper people know about this. Second one, where fornication is planned. So zina, if someone plans to do zina, we need to, this is something that we can reveal. Three, where is to the appropriate people, of course. So the third one is where it is planned to steal something from someone's property. So someone is planning to rob our brother's store or someone's store, some people's stuff. We can make known to those people that, hey, protect your stuff. This person may be coming to steal your stuff, and be careful and take precaution to warn them. The facts of such meetings could be presented in the court for proving someone's right. In some cases, it assumes such importance that it must be necessary to expose this secret. So there are exceptions in these extreme circumstances. In Surah Tahrim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala admonishes some of the Prophet's wives, Aisha and Hafsa, for betraying a secret of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah asked them to repent. He said, if you both turn to Allah, then indeed your hearts already inclined to this. So in this situation, one of the wives of Rasulullah was Zainab bin Jahash. She knew that her husband liked honey a lot. She knew that Prophet liked honey, so she got a type of honey that he liked a lot. And it so happened that Zainab was one of the more beautiful wives of the Prophet, and he thought very highly of her. He liked her a lot, and it caused some anxiety to the other wives, to Aisha, for example. So she was afraid that he would give all of his love and attention to Zainab and exclude the other wives. So her and Hafsa, they worked out a plan to, end this type of relationship. So it would make him dislike that honey that Zainab would give him. So Aisha tells the story herself in book of Bukhari, one of the Sahih books of Sunnis. He quoted Al-Bukhari quoted in the book Talaq and book of Tafsir of Surah Tahrim, plan that when the Messenger of Allah visits any one of us, she should tell him that his mouth smells bad of maghfir, which is something sweet to taste but has a bad odor. So Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam was very sensitive on this point. He hated strong odors. It so happened that Hafsa was the wife he visited first. As soon as he entered her chamber, she said, Ya Rasulullah, your mouth has bad odor of this type of honey. But when I was with Zainab, he said, I didn't eat maghfir, but when I was with Zainab, she gave me some honey to eat. It's possible that the honey has the odor of maghfir, but in the future, I won't eat this honey anymore. As he thought it would pain the other wives, the smell of this that he ate. So he said, okay, I won't eat it. So here, two wives of the Prophet, Aisha and Hafsa, are working against the third wife, Zainab. Zainab didn't do any harm to Aisha and Hafsa. She was a cousin of the Prophet. He was the son of her maternal uncle. So she loved him, he loved her. She knew his likes and dislikes and kept a certain variety of honey at home, which she knew was his favorite. So Muhammad's love for Zainab kindled the flames of jealousy in Aisha. And to settle those flames, she hatched a scheme with Hafsa against Zainab and implemented that scheme. Apparently, these two ladies did not trust her husband for being just. They didn't trust that the Prophet was adil, would be just between them. So they thought that he was being partial to Zainab, perhaps at their expense. If they had trusted him, they wouldn't have done this type of bad behavior, bad scheme. So Aisha was led by this human instinct to improvise, to make her husband spend less time with Zainab than he was doing. So they wanted to do this plan to make, it's very bad, akhlaq, to tell Rasulullah, na'udhu billah, that his breath smelled bad, in order to make him not go see or think bad about the other wife. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told these two ladies that he would not eat honey again. This must have pleased both of them, because they probably believed that their plot was successful. But at this point, revelation intervened and clinched the matter with the following verse of Quran, Surah 66, Ayat 1. O Prophet, why hold you to be forbidden that which Allah has made lawful to you? You seek to please your wives, but Allah is all forgiving, the most merciful. So Aisha and Hafsa, they didn't want their husband to eat honey anymore, and he agreed not to. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself had to remind him that the consumption of honey was lawful, and that he ought not to deny himself the pleasure of eating it. It's not haram to refrain from something, that is lawful. There's plenty of things that are lawful that maybe we don't like, and we just say, I don't want to eat that anymore. I don't like it. But the Prophet liked that thing, and the reason why he was doing it was not to hurt the other one. So he said, I'll sacrifice that. But Allah is saying that he revealed that this is not the case. They are just doing this because they are being difficult, and they want to cause harm and bad relation between you and Zainab. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam returned to Zainab's apartment and enjoyed the honey as he did before. This is from the book Khatijatul Kubra from Sayyid Ali Asghar Razvi. So there's some good information about this ayah and how it came down. Said the same chapter also mentions the wife of Nabi Lut and Nabi Nuh alayhim salam. It talks about their wives. It says Allah sets forth an example to those who disbelieve, the wife of Nuh and the wife of Lut. They were both under two of our righteous servants, but they acted treacherously towards them, so they availed them nothing against Allah. And it was said, enter both the fire with those who enter, with all those who enter. This is Surah 10 from ayat. This is Surah 66, ayat 10. So we see that it was admonishing those wives and said that you can be like these two wives that Allah is threatening Aisha and Hafsa basically with comparing them to the wife of Lut and the wife of Nuh, and that those two went to hell. Don't think that just because you are wives of the Prophet that you will be safe and that you will not go to hell. These were wives of the Prophet and also went to hellfire. So it's admonishing them about their bad behavior. On a side note, this is something also to show that people include the wives of the Prophet in the surah ayat, the ayat tathir, the ayat purification, where Allah says that He purified them with a thorough purification with Ahlul Bayt. And He says that some other groups say that the wives of the Prophet are also Ahlul Bayt, and they are in this. But this ayat is proving that these individuals in question that are talking about are infallible, whereas we see that the wives of the Prophet, they cannot be included in this because they are fallible, as they are admonished in the Quran and threatened even with going to the hellfire for the things that they were doing. And many other proofs of what they did after the Prophet, fighting against him and other things. So it clearly shows that they were not included in that verse. The author says, Abdullah ibn Sinan says that he inquired from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, is it haram for a believer to expose something of another believer that deserves to be kept secret? The Imam says, yes. The narrator further asked, do you mean by this the privates? Imam explained, it's not what you think. Although it is haram to view the privates of others, what I meant was the confidential matters. Imam also said, one who washes a dead body of a believer and observes caution with regard to the trust is absolved of all his sins. Someone said, how can he maintain secrecy with regard to washing a believer's body? The Imam says that he must not tell anyone, he must not tell anyone of the deformities that he might see in the dead body. So from this discussion, we can be certain that exposing a number of, exposing the secrets amounts to khayanat, or misappropriation of the trust. Under all circumstances, the secret is a trust from one to the other. It's type of transaction. You are entrusting something to someone else without them, you don't want them to reveal it. Whether the person concerned himself takes you in the confidence, or you come to know the secrets by yourself, it's haram to betray it. So sometimes you see something and it is meant to be a secret, or you hear something and it's meant to be a secret. It wasn't meant for you, but you happen to see it. You have to keep it to yourself because it's something that should not be revealed, and they don't want you to reveal whatever you saw, as long as it doesn't come into those exceptions that we mentioned. For example, someone's trying to steal some property or murder someone or something like this, then there's exception. If the one whom the secret concerns does not wish the secret to be divulged, then it is haram and a kind of misappropriation of trust to expose it. Such type of trust that involves secrets have various grades and are of different types. Certain types of misappropriation of trust are termed as tale-telling, and others are called backbiting. Each of these shall be elaborated in the future, it says. Misappropriation can be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, can be with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, and it could be with the Muslimin in general. One can also commit misappropriation with oneself. When a person, they reveal the political secrets or the military strategies of the Muslims to the disbelievers, he commits misappropriation, which includes all of those ones above that we mentioned, Allah, Prophet, and Muslimin. And he is the cause of strengthening the enemy and may be responsible for the defeat of the Muslims. And he says, perhaps it is this type of khayanat that is alluded to in the following ayat, Surah 8, ayat 27. O you who believe, be not unfaithful to Allah and the Apostle, nor be unfaithful to your trust while you know. So we see that someone could give secrets away, military secrets, like the whereabouts of a certain person that the one enemy government is looking for them, and you happen to know where they'll be, and then the enemy strikes them in that moment, and then you would be responsible for, betraying, the trust of Allah, the Prophet, and the believers, and allowing the enemies to kill a fellow believer. It says in the reason of the revelation of this verse, Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari says, one day Jibreel informed Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi of the fact that Abu Sufyan was camping at a particular place with the army of the disbelievers. The Prophet made preparation to fight him and kept this secret so that the enemies could be taken by surprise. However, one of the munafiqeen, the hypocrites, wrote to Abu Sufyan and informed him of the Muslims' plan. The explanation of the verse, Surah 8, ayat 27, mentions the misappropriation of the trust of Abu Lababa, and then he repented from this. Maintaining a secret, he says, however, is a difficult task, formidable task. Only those with a lot of honor can maintain this. And, they have to be good in maintaining secrets. Some people, they know themselves, don't tell me anything because I'm not good, and I will tell everybody, and I'll make a mistake and I'll slip and I'll say it, but some people are very good. They will hold everything, and they even know, and they act like nothing ever happened, and they never knew about anything, and they are surprised when someone else tells them. He says it's a virtue with which a very few good actions can compare, and is deserving of the high rewards and divine blessings. The person is protected from fear on the day of judgment, on the day when all the people will be gathered for accounting. The trustworthy people shall be placed at the safest and the best place under the shade of divine mercy. And Imam Qadhim alayhi salam talks about this. He said, 3 types of people will be under the shade of the divine mercy when there will be no other shade. One person is the one who arranges the marriage of his believing brother. The second one, the person who procures a servant for his believing brother, like a worker. And third, the person who has maintained a secret of his believing brother. And some people say, like, why should we even tell secrets to each other, and this type of thing? But maybe someone wants to talk about something private, and we should go to our believing brother or sister in faith. The sisters talk with the sisters, brother talk with the brother, but we need to talk to someone, even if it's family. We talk with our family members, for example. We have some issue and it's a private matter, maybe with ourselves or with our family, and we need help, and we don't want the whole world to know about this, because maybe we see it as a weakness in ourselves, and we want to talk to someone about it, and we should be there to support each other. So this necessitates that we do talk to someone about it. People go and they talk to therapists about their issues which are private, and the therapist agrees that they will not tell they have a confidentiality agreement, and they will not reveal the secrets of their client. But sometimes we need someone to talk to, and we have to relate some private matters or things we want kept confidential, and we say keep this between us. And so sometimes we do need to do that. He says, according to the narrations, we must not inform anyone of our own secrets, even if those people are of close relatives or friends. It is possible that their friendship may not last forever. They might become our enemies in the future. It is very rare for an enemy not to expose the secrets of his opponent. So, as I said before, we should be very careful with who we tell our secrets and make sure they are trustworthy individuals. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam informed one of his companions, do not tell your secrets even to your friend, but only tell him those things which will not cause any harm, even if your enemy comes to know about it. Because even a friend could become an enemy one day. So he's saying, tell them some things, but if those things won't harm you. There are some things that maybe that could harm you if you told someone and they tell someone else. And these, we should hold on to those. It says, a reliable and pious person has related that when he went to divorce his wife, he was asked about her defect. Like, why did you do that? Why did you divorce her? What did she do? Why did you take that type of decision? He said, an intelligent person never exposes his wife and never reveals her secrets. After the divorce was completed, and even after her waiting period had ended, again, some people asked him, now she's not your wife anymore, what was the defect, that you had to divorce her? Tell me, He said, I'm not concerned with other women. It means that it is the right of a wife on her husband that he maintains her secret even after separation and divorce. So he's like, I don't talk about other people. So it's not their business. A lot of people, they want to know everyone's business, and they want to find out, why did they go there? What did they do? How did they get that car? Oh, what type of job did they get? I don't see them talking as much. Maybe they're going to get divorced, or all these type of things start going and rumors go. And we have to stop these type of things, and don't get involved in these gossiping. And it's a lot of the things are backbiting and lies. And also some of the things may be secret, and they say, oh, I can't wait to tell you what I found out, and they tell all the secrets of the other person. But this is misappropriation of trust, and it is one of the haram things to do, one of the greater sins. Says revealing a secret is a kind of misappropriation of trust, and all types of people consider it to be evil. No one looks at it as something good. It's mentioned in one of the books that even a filthy man like Ziyad had criticized Omar ibn Saad for revealing the last wishes and the secret of Muslim ibn Aqil, alayhi salam. Ibn Ziyad had wrote to Omar ibn Saad, Ya Omar ibn Saad, because you yourself have revealed the secret of Hussein's coming towards Kufa, you would have to go and fight against him. There's a lot of details about this. He says in Nafasul Mahmum by Sheikh Abbas Qummi, a very good book about Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He says, when Ibn Ziyad had Muslim ibn Aqil arrested, Muslim asked him, would you kill me? He said, yes. Ibn Ziyad said, yes. He said, give me some time so that I can express my last wishes to a relative of mine. So Ibn Ziyad allowed him to do that. Muslim searched among the people present in the court. When he saw Omar ibn Saad, he told Omar ibn Saad, Ya Omar, we are related to each other. I wish something from you. It is obligatory for you to fulfill it, and it is a secret that I cannot reveal to anyone. So Omar ibn Saad tried to get out of it, but Ibn Ziyad told him, don't try to avoid this. Listen to what your cousin wishes. So Omar ibn Saad and Muslim ibn Aqil went into a corner, and Muslim said, there's a debt that I owe. When I had reached Kufa, I borrowed 700 dirhams. Please sell my armor and repay the loan. When I am killed, take my last remains from Ibn Ziyad and perform a proper funeral and bury me. You must also send someone to Imam Hussein alayhi salam so that he can stop him from coming to Kufa. I had myself invited him to Kufa and written that the people of Kufa are on his side. So he must have started his journey towards Kufa. Inform him of my arrest and execution so that he may turn back and go back, away from there. Omar ibn Saad immediately told Ibn Ziyad all the three things: the death of Muslim, the burying of him, that he wanted him to bury him, and the warning for Imam Hussein. All the secrets he said he could not tell anyone else. So Ibn Ziyad said to Muslim ibn Aqil, a trustworthy person can never betray you, but the thing is that you have considered a betrayer to be your confidant. So we see that this was his only last choice and last hope because he had no one else to tell. But we see that Omar ibn Saad broke all of these rules of keeping the trust, and even Ibn Ziyad criticized Omar ibn Saad for this, that it's not a thing of honor. So even a dishonorable, cursed person like Ibn Ziyad, he even considered the breaking of trust and the telling of secrets to be something bad. It's appropriate to mention, trustworthiness. And when Imam Hussein alayhi salam reached a spot called Hajiz, he wrote a letter to Muslim ibn Aqil and the Shia of Kufa. He wrote, from Hussein ibn Ali to his Muslim and Mu'min brothers. Peace be on all of you. Praise be to Allah, besides whom there is no deity. I have received Muslim's letter. He has informed me of the glad news that you all are united to support me and prepared to fight for my right. I pray to Allah for your favorable consequences. May He reward you for this stand of yours. I have left Mecca on Tuesday, the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, and started moving towards you. When my messenger reaches you, you must become serious and concerned in your mission. I shall come to you within a few days, inshallah. Peace be upon you and the divine mercy. Imam Hussein alayhi salam gave this letter to Qais ibn Mushir Sa'dawi, who set out immediately and soon reached the outskirts of Kufa. An officer of Ibn Ziyad named Hasin ibn Tamim tried to arrest him. So this guy, this commander or this soldier of Ibn Ziyad, caught the person who was bringing the letter from Imam Hussein to Kufa, and he tried to arrest him there. And once the messenger, he tore up the letter of Imam Hussein. Then he was taken to Ibn Ziyad, where Ibn Ziyad told him to give up that letter. He said, I've torn it all to pieces. Ibn Ziyad said, why? He said that, so you will not know what was written in it. He said, to whom was it addressed? Who was this letter for? He said, to some people I'm not familiar with. Ibn Ziyad ordered, if you do not reveal the name, you will have to mount the pulpit and invoke curse upon the liars. What Ibn Ziyad meant was that he was actually referring to Imam Hussein, that he would have to mount the pulpit and curse Imam Hussein. Na'udhu billah. So Qais went to the pulpit and he announced, he said, okay, I will have to do this, so I will curse the liars. So he said, O people, Hussein ibn Ali is the best creature of Allah and the son of Fatima Zahra, the daughter of the Holy Prophet. I am his messenger. I have left him with from this place. I have come to you so that you may respond to his call and support him wholeheartedly. When Qais invoked the curse, then Qais he invoked the curse on Ibn Ziyad and on his father Ziyad. Then he started praising Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Ibn Ziyad ordered that Qais be taken to the wall of the palace and then thrown off of the wall. When Qais was thrown from such a height, his bones broke in all the places, but he was still alive. And then Abdul Malik ibn Amr beheaded him. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. When Imam Hussein alayhi salam learned of Qais being murdered, his eyes were filled with tears, and he recited the following ayat of the Quran, Surah Ahzab, ayat 23. Of the believers are men who are true to the covenant which they made with Allah. So of them is he who has accomplished his vow, and of them is he who yet waits, and they have not changed in the least. They have another interesting incident about the trustworthiness. It says a man had 1,000 tomon, the currency in Iran. He had this 1,000 tomon in his bag. He was going to the public bath early in the morning. On the way, he met a friend who was also going towards the public bath. When they came to a junction, this person separated without telling his friend. Perchance a robber was pursuing them with the intention of stealing the bag of money. When this man reached the bath, the robber followed suit. The man deposited the money bag with the bathkeeper and went inside to take the bath. So the bathkeeper himself thought of taking a bath. He thought that the robber who had followed the man in the bathhouse was his friend, was the other person's friend. So he handed him the bag of money and he said, "Keep this in your custody, watch over this until I finish taking the bath." So he gave the robber the money, but he gave it to him as a trust. He said, "Watch over this while I take a bath and come back." So the thief, he sat there with the bag of money until the bathkeeper of that bathhouse returned. Then he gave the money bag back to him. When the bathkeeper learned that he was not a friend of the first person, he asked, "Who are you?" You know, he said, "I'm actually a thief." So he said, "Why didn't you steal the bag of money and when I gave it to you?" The thief answered, "I may be a thief, but betraying truth is against manliness. It's against, this uh, bravado or of being a man, you know." He said, "While safeguarding this trust, I have also remained away from committing the robbery I intended to." So the nobility impressed the owner of the money bag, the one who owned that money in the first place. He was impressed by how, he had this characteristic, even though he was a thief. And he opened the bag and he gave some money to the person who had intended on stealing his bag in the first place. So he gave him some money as a gift. Author says, however, stealing is also haram, and it will be discussed. This is actually the next chapter in this book. Says an object may be expensive or it may be worthless. It may be, worth. For example, we see looking around. I have this computer. Someone may steal a computer. Computer is very expensive, or they could steal my pen. The pen is worth, really nothing. But at the end of the day, when the intention is to steal something, it doesn't matter if it is expensive or it is not worth anything. It is still haram. It's still, unlawful for a person to steal. So, inshallah, we'll end here when we finish the 22nd chapter, which was misappropriation of the trust. And next week, we'll continue with the 23rd greater sin, which is stealing. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.